She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something about her features. You'll find her beauty goes much deeper once you get to meet her. You see her walking down the boulevard. She got the posture of a superstar. She looks so fly in those Gucci slides. Yeah, I wonder what she hides under her disguise. Yeah.
Let's go! Let's go, come on! So let's go! Let's go, Gigi! So let's go, Gigi! Let's go, Gigi! Yeah, let's go! Let's go! And Mir, and welcome to our vlog! So for this content, we will be going to talk about the trigonometry of right triangles. So first and foremost, disclaimer, so we are both neighbors and we are actually shooting in the southern part of Cebu, which is the Delegate, and it is a COVID-free municipality. So to start off, what is trigonometry of right triangles? So trigonometry comes from the two Greek words trigonon and metron, which means triangles and measures. It is a branch of mathematics that studies the relationship between the side lengths and the angle of triangles. So a right triangle has a right angle with a value of 90 degrees. So it has three sides, namely hypotenuse, opposite, and adjacent.
And the longest side of the right triangle is what we call the hypotenuse. The opposite is the one across from a given angle, and the adjacent is the next from a given angle.
How important this topic in real life?
So, in real life, the trigonometry of right triangles can be used by the carpenters to get the precise measurement of the angles and sizes.
So, we have here two students of University of Cebu Banilad to show their appreciation to the topic.
I appreciate the trigonometry of right triangle as a student because it's helped me to analyze and solve for the altitude, width, and length of a certain object.
As a student from University of Cebu, trigonometry is one of the most important fields in mathematics, particularly to those who are dreaming to be an engineer, architecture, naval, mechanical engineer, and etc. We can determine the height, the angles, the width, the length with the use of trigonometry. We can solve problems using the trigonometry. Trigonometry surrounds us. Trigonometry has an important role in our lives.
That's it! And now we will going to look for some examples of trigonometry of right triangles in our community. So, let's go, Gigi's! Hi guys, so we have here our first example.
So, this is the right triangle.
So, first is the damba. Ta-da! So, we will now identify the parts of the right triangle. So, this is the right triangle right here. Where is the hypotenuse? So the hypotenuse is located in the opposite side of the right angle. So if this is the right angle right here, then this would be the hypotenuse. Also, the hypotenuse is always the longest angle between the three angles. So where is the opposite side? Next is the opposite side. So the opposite side of the right triangle is located across the right angle. So this is the right triangle and this is the right angle. This would be the opposite side. Next is the adjacent. So where is the adjacent? So the adjacent is here, aside the right angle. So when do we know that it is a right triangle? We know that it is a right triangle when one of the angles is 90 degrees. Alright? Always remember that. So now that we know that the right angle is 90 degrees, we will now ask John to teach us how to measure the right triangle with the use of trigonometry. John.
Solutions. A is missing, B is 30 cm, and C is 40 cm. Here, we now find the length of A. So we must follow the A squared plus B squared equals C squared, where A squared plus 30 squared equals 40 squared. Then we transpose the 30 the other side, so A squared equals 40 squared minus 30 squared. Then A squared equals 1600 minus 900. Then we put the radical sign to each so that we can cancel out the square. So the final answer is 26.46.
So we have here our next example.
This. Oh, it's so far. Oh, you get it.
Example for today's video is this road sign right here. So this road sign tells us to go where? In the right. Right? Right. So as you can see, there are triangles in the signage to help emphasize the warning or the so we called guide that tells us to go in the right way. So which is the arrow? So arrow, and then as you can see, there is a triangle, right? Triangle, 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 and then the arrow in this rectangular signage, diba? So now let us identify the parts of the triangle now with the use of this signage right here. So can you do it yourself? Let's do it together. So let's locate the hypotenuse. So where is the hypotenuse again in the right triangle? It is in the opposite side of the right angle. So right angle, opposite hypotenuse. Also, the hypotenuse again is the longest angle in the three parts of the right triangle. So next is the opposite. So where can we locate the opposite side of the right triangle? Across the right angle. So right angle, opposite. Right? Very good. Next is the adjacent. So where can we locate the adjacent side? It is beside or aside the right triangle. So here. Yeah? So thank you for joining me. Now let's call John and let him teach you for the last time how to measure the right triangle right here with the use of trigonometry.
Solutions. Where A equals to 15 cm, B equals to 20 cm, and C is missing. In order to find, we must follow A squared plus B squared equals C squared, where A equals 15 squared plus 20 squared equals C squared. Then, we must have 6 radical sign in 6 to 5 and a radical sign in c squared so that we can cancel out the square. The answer is 25.
And we have found our last example.
The angle bar. So an angle bar, or also known as L bracket or an angle iron, is a metal bracket in the form of a right angle. Ooh, right angle. So it is made of galvanized steel and often used in masonry or applied to different surfaces through welding or drilling. So now we are going to identify the sides of the right triangle again, now with the use of the angle bar. So here's my hand and the picture of the angle bar. So where is the hypotenuse? Again, so the hypotenuse is and will always be in the opposite side of the right angle. So hypotenuse, right angle. Alright, it is always on the opposite side. Next is the opposite. So where can we locate the opposite? So the opposite is always across the right angle. So where is it? Here, diba? So right angle, and the opposite side. Next is the adjacent. So the adjacent again will always be beside the right angle. So here, adjacent, hypotenuse, opposite. Understood? Good. So now John here again will teach us how to solve the measure of this angle bar right here with the use of trigonometry. John.
Solutions where a equals to 10 and c equals to 20 and b is missing. Then we must follow the formula of a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where 10 squared plus b squared equals 20 squared. Then we will transpose the 10 squared to the other side, so we will have b squared equals 400 minus 100. Then put the radical sign in both so we can cancel out the squared. Then b equals to 17.32.
That's the end of our vlog.
Hope you learned something.
Thank you for watching. God bless and Happy New Year. Bye, GGs! It is a branch of mathematics that studies the relationship between the side lengths and the angle of Ay, last na lang, last. Then lahos-lahos para...
Usap to ako ah. In real life, the trigonometry of right triangles can be used by the carpenters to get the precise measurements of angles and sizes.